And this will become clear in a minute why I am asking you.
How do we know she's not a plant?
Paul's wearing glasses, actually. That's one of the things we'll discuss, actually, Paul. So basically, what I want to talk to you about is this amazing opportunity that we're on the brink of today to really change the way people interact with computers. Not to be too dramatic. But really, we are seeing the sea change where it's becoming cheaper and cheaper to build hardware or to repurpose existing hardware such as smartphones to interface with cloud services to let us get new abilities to understand the world and our people that we serve. And I'd also like to thank Yoshi, Franzi, Tammy, Carl, Daniel Halpern, Doug Berger, and others for discussions. Yoshi, Franzi, and I have a paper based on some of the stuff we're talking about. But all errors are mine, and if you think it's boring, it's my fault. So in one slide, my talk is about we have these cloud services that can interpret the world. We can be always connected, always on. We can have superhuman capabilities, like the ability to understand every single human language. These doesn't exist yet today, but we have multiple people who are actively working on it. And new hardware, which people are looking at, enables a continuous experience. And one thing that's a trend I want to talk to you about is that it's becoming cheaper and easier to prototype and integrate hardware than it has in the past. The capital structure for new hardware design is changing, and this will enable kind of innovations that have happened the same way the capital structure for software has changed in the last 10 years. So we have all this excitement and optimism. And what I want to talk to you about today is how this new world that we might see could founder on security and privacy issues unless we in this room address them. Or worse, it could actually happen, but we could lose some of the things that we like about our society in the process. So this is an example of an application called WordLens. How many people here have seen WordLens? Okay, great. So not everyone. So I actually have an iPod Touch here, which has WordLens preloaded. And I have a copy of El Decor de España, which is a magazine in Spanish. So I'm just going to pass this around for people to play with. Please. So the promise of this application is continuous seamless translation. You hold up your phone to a word written in English, and it's translated into Spanish, and it happens inside the image. It's as if it was always written in that language. Now, right now they only do Spanish to English and back, but they actually happen to be working in Korean. I know they're working on Chinese and a couple of other languages which aren't shipped yet. And in fact, Windows Phone Mango has this ability as well. It's not quite as slick as WordLens, but you can actually get through a copy of El Decor with it without too much trouble. And so what's interesting here is this is an example of the kinds of services people are starting to pursue, where you say, okay, I've got a smartphone, I've got a little window onto a cloud service. What can I do with that to help me understand the world around me? So for example, VizWiz, University of Washington graduate who's now at the University of Rochester. This is a service where if you're blind and you have an iPhone or iPod Touch, you can hold up your phone to an object, speak into it and say, what is this? And then people out on Mechanical Turk will go and answer the question for you. And they do some quality assurance and then come back and they speak the answer into your ear. Down here, this is Recognizer from a Swedish group called the Astonishing Tribe. It does some basic facial recognition and tries to determine if the person you're holding the phone up to is one of your Facebook friends. If so, it shows you all their information. And of course, we have more prosaic things that aren't as augmented reality, but simple things like having your Twitter feed on your phone all the time. And there's things that are actually a little more wider reaching. So what I've talked about so far are kind of individual focus. But what I want to mention to you as well is that there's wide-reaching visions of what a cloud service would do for some of the most fundamental processes of our society. So how many people here have heard of evidence.com? Okay, 2 people. The San Jose Police Department is running a trial where every single officer has a camera on them at all times. The camera records continuously and uploads footage to this portal, which is run by Taser International. So Taser is not just for shocking people anymore.
Shocking.
It's for actually collecting all of the data you would need to build a case against someone to put them in jail for years. And so the interesting thing here is this is a cloud service. It's collecting information gathered from physical devices attached to police officers, combining that with information. Yes, please.
Is that video only, or is it also audio, or what?
So the question is it video only or also audio? It actually looks at all different things you would want. So it's documents related to the case, it's video related to the case, it's interrogations related to the case. Their vision is that you have a case you're working, and this is a total portal for everything that's related to it. Now, they're just in the early days, but this is the kind of cloud service that people are already starting to think about, which plugs into these ubiquitous devices. And we are starting to see hardware which tries to take this vision and extend it. So this is a thing called a look-see. It has 10 hours of continuous recording at 320p resolution. It also acts as a Bluetooth headset. So it pairs with your smartphone. And then you sort of wear it during the day, and you can touch a button to say, hey, this thing I just saw in the last 30 seconds is really interesting. Please share it on my Facebook friends. And they'll do that. And this particular thing is $199. But actually, it turns out that this hardware is relatively inexpensive. So you have here, these are examples of things from a website called AliExpress. How many people here have seen AliExpress? AliExpress is a way to order devices directly from their manufacturers in China or through their distributors in Hong Kong. So the glasses that Tammy is wearing right now actually have a little wireless camera in them, and they're right now sending information directly to my laptop through this device I've plugged in. And you can buy them about, $30 a piece. So what the people are trying to push is this idea of you have a camera, it's always on, you can share your view of other people across the internet, and then use that view to help each other make better decisions. So what I'd like to do now, if I can have the glasses back, please. Thank you very much. We're going to try a little something, which is now that we have this ability to sort of take this video in real time, what exactly are we going to do with it? And so traditionally this is sort of founded on some very difficult problems in computer vision. But now what we can do, let me just quickly show you the live video stream here, if all works out. It's always fun to sort of see these demos and see what happens. Great, okay, so you can see here's a live video stream. Right? And it's actually been recording the entire time that Tammy's had it on. So what we're going to do is plug it in and see if we can download some video off it. And if that doesn't work, then don't worry, I've got a backup.